So I'm Peter Vincent. I work for IBM. My job role is perhaps a little bit difficult to describe, but I label myself as a security architect, although there are a number of other titles I could probably give myself. It started about when I was at university doing my MSc. I opted to do a dissertation about data encryption. I should explain, I was doing an IT conversion course, and while I was doing all the research for my dissertation thesis, I kind of realised that data encryption was a small part of this much broader field of IT security, information security, and that's when I picked up the desire to get into the industry. I then came into IBM. I did 2 years in a non-security role, but after 2 years I actually managed to get a break and get into the security team, and things have gone from strength to strength from there. A typical day is a funny one because in my view I don't really have a typical day. So as well as being a security architect, I'm also a people manager. I'm also a competency leader. So I have a day job, as it were, doing security architecture on delivery projects, but then I'll also look at bids and proposals, and also people management aspects. But I think this is one of the things about working in security. The field's so diverse that you never really know quite what's going to come up in any single day. I think the one thing I do know is I'll have what I want to get done at the start of the day, and at the end of the day I've often not done it because of all the things that have been thrown at me during the day. But it's that variety, and you never know quite what's coming next, which makes working in security so interesting. I think the best bits, as I've already touched on, is the sheer variety of the field. I don't feel like I ever have the same day. I don't feel like I'm repeating things. The variety is absolutely fantastic. And again, one of the things about working in security is, you could be looking at a deeply technical problem. You could be looking at a business problem. You could be looking at a procedural problem. The variety is just absolutely fantastic. I think the thing that can be a challenge is working in security. You'll often find people that aren't pragmatic. They'll see things in a very black and white way. I think people have security professionals do have a little bit of a bad reputation for being people that say no. They're inhibitors. But I think, I like to think, well, we're helping to enable business, and I think it's the people that say no, what's the question, is what frustrates me. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think that's what can really frustrate me is dealing with people that have got that no mentality. We can't do this because it's not secure. So people that lack that sense of pragmatism is probably the biggest frustration I face. There are a lot of great resources. So I actually think, a couple of websites that are perhaps not necessarily security oriented. I think Slashdot is great. There's often a lot of stories about security on there. The Register, again, there's also often a lot of great stories and articles about security on there. I'm still a big fan of Schneier.com, so Bruce Schneier's blog. Again, that's one of the things that helped me get into security was his cryptogram newsletter. I think that's a great resource. But most of the security vendors, their websites and blogs are great sources. So it's really just keeping an eye on on vendor websites and a few of the good, I suppose, technical news websites to see what's happening in the industry. And I think that's the thing I really encourage people to do is just keep an eye on the broader space and what's in the news. I think the ultimate step for a security professional is becoming a chief security officer. I've had responsibility and experience on large programs. Not quite acting in that chief security officer role, but I think that's the ultimate aspiration for a security professional is to become the Chief Information Security Officer, overall having the ultimate accountability for the security within an organisation. So I think, really, I've touched on this earlier, but it's do your homework, go and read, be that websites, blogs, sign up to newsletters, read books, do your research. I think, I certainly recognise that people don't necessarily have the perfect background, but if you can demonstrate to me that you're keen, you've got a degree of understanding and you want to learn more, then I'd certainly be very interested in speaking to you. But I think given the diversity of the field, if you're a system administrator, you could get into security. Even if you're a project manager, you could get into security. The nature of the field is just so diverse that there's a role in security for people from all backgrounds. But I think you just need to do that reading and research to get that foot into the door.